All frucked up. Memorial Day 2025. Yeah, just trying to finally get a long form video posted for today. Today was a lot of VFW activity, and there was a high eating frequency. Maybe my portion sizes weren't too crazy, but there was a high eating frequency. So, yeah, we'll see how that plays, because this morning I basically just had a root beer. Then there was several hours that passed, and then I had some lean protein at the VFW post, and yeah, some starchy potatoes, and some high fat, high carb pecan pie. Follow that with some starchy vegetables. I believe peas are a starch, right? I don't know. I'll have to look that up. But, after the peas, there was pineapple juice. After that, in the evening, there was a small portion of Hawaiian pizza, courtesy of Pizza Hut. So, I was all over the map today. Portion control was good. I feel good now. I've knocked back the 29 ounces of peaches and heavy syrup that I typically do before bedtime. And I've just been making a mess of these YouTube videos. The short that ran long, and the other video that I recorded where I'm sitting here futzing with a freaking hangnail on my thumb all through the video. So it's tempted to even take that one down. But regardless, the scale weight in the morning should be interesting. Again, I appreciate all my viewers, but these videos are very much for my own learning and, like references. I can go back to the footage and be like, okay, what was I thinking about on this day? What I'm thinking about right now, and what I was thinking about in one of the other videos that I posted, 80% of our veterans, nearly 80% of our veterans are apparently, by statistical data, overweight or obese. And, I think it goes without saying that everybody wants to be skinny, rich, and happy. So, what can we do to help our veterans out? I know that quite a few of the guys that I've seen at the VFW post where I'm at, they'd like to be leaner. I know they would. So how do we make that more easily attained? Because, when things are fairly easy, people will implement them on repeat over a long time horizon. There's good adherence, there's good compliance, and there's good results. So I think the thing that really deep down I'm trying to work on is, yes, for my own life, I want to be skinny, rich, and happy. And the first step for me right now is to remove all the extra pounds that I'm carrying. But on a serious note, going forward, how do we make this simple for other people? How do we make this simple for our veterans? And if sugar fasting really is not the terrible thing that some people have, I think, jumped to the conclusion it's dangerous. I think they've done that just as a knee-jerk reaction based on all the fear-mongering when it comes to sugar. But if it turns out that it's dietary fat that is blunting the action of insulin, and it's not carbohydrates, it's not sugars that are making us fat, it's sugar in the presence of dietary fat that's the issue. If we can really get this locked in, confirmed, I think we have an over-reliance on studies. But if there's a large number of people that are able to implement this on their own, and they see the results, they make it work, they keep the weight off, they keep the fat off, because it's not about losing weight, it's about dropping fat. We don't want to be catabolic and lose all of our muscle. So yeah, we can call it weight loss. I know that that's what's common. but I like to think of it as fat loss, dropping the fat. I'm perhaps rambling here, but what I'm really trying to get down to is that sugar is not, the seven-headed hydra. It's not the demonic, whatever the fuck that's gonna come kill us all, right? Sugar is it's as natural as many other things. It's sourced from sugar beets, sugar cane. If it's the dietary fat along with the sugar, and the real issue is not the sugar, but the dietary fat messing up the insulin response, then we could arrive at an approach that's going to help a lot of people, and do so on a very, very small budget, because you can feed yourself on the sugar diet at not a very high cost at all. So yeah, this video has been one take and it's been a little rough. Long pauses and scattered thoughts. But if we can arrive at something that works, it just simply works. And, we're not raising... you think about it. The way things go with commercial agriculture is we've got like 80% of our farm ground. And, I'm just pulling that statistic out of my memory, which could be flawed, which could have been based on bad information. But if the majority of our farm ground raises grain to feed animals that are ultimately slaughtered, and it's all this dietary fat that's causing us the issue, then we could actually eat fewer animals, meaning we could potentially export more of our grains somewhere else instead of feeding all the animals for slaughter. So, I don't know this is like a pebble in a pond, right? The ripple goes out in all directions. So when we have the results, because we will, at some point we'll have the results en masse, right? So many people doing the sugar fasting, doing the sugar diet, the results will be in at some point. Now, whether it's a success or a failure, who knows? And the implementation of it is so individual and so subjective, even though it should be fairly clear what we're supposed to be doing. We're human, we're fallible, but when the results are in for this sugar fasting, for this sugar diet, if the results are favorable, then we've got something to work with. Something that's cheap, something that's environmentally friendly, perhaps, and something that can help our veterans. Because it seems like a lot of those folks, they've got some financial hurdles to get over. So, I don't know. This is my my rambling, long-form Memorial Day video, call it. But yeah, there's a lot that's broken. So I'm doing this N of 1 experiment on myself with a little bit of guidance from the talking heads on the interwebs. And we'll see where it goes. Thanks for tuning in. See ya.